Hello, today we have a learning from Rav Zvi Kushalevsky on the Torah about the meaning of the Mishkan. Let's take a look at what Rav Zvi Kushalevsky has to say about it right now. One moment. The deep meaning of the Mishkan. ויהי ביום השמיני. It was on the 8th day of the inauguration ceremony. Vayikra 9:1. Vayikra, the 9th parak of the Vayikra, the first pasuk. This was the 8th day of the inauguration ceremony. There were 8 days. This was the day that the Mishkan was set up permanently and inaugurated. The Torah uses Viyehi here as an introductory word. As we shall see, this little word hints at levels of depth regarding the purpose of the Mishkan. The Maharal writes that the Mishkan was a creation in and of itself. Just as the world was created in 7 days, the Mishkan was a further stage in creation. It was the 8th day of creation, and as such was the higher level which completed the creation of the world. This is why the Midrash teaches, Bamidbar Rabbah 12, that the Mishkan is equal to the creation of the world. Both the description of the creation of the world and the Mishkan uses the word Vayehi. This is what the Gemara means when it says the hooks of the Mishkan appear like the stars in the sky. The hooks of the Mishkan appear like the stars in the sky. The Mishkan itself was like the creation of the heavens and earth. Maharal, Chidushei Agados, on Shabbos, 99a. The Maharal is telling us that the world was created in 7 days. So it says Vayehi, by the creation of the world, of the universe, and it also says Vayehi in regards to the creation of the Mishkan. Viheyi Bayom Hashmini. It was on the 8th day. So the Maharal is telling us that the world was created in 7 days, but completed only on the 8th day. That 8th day took several generations to arrive, but it did when the Mishkan was completed. As we shall see, it was only fully complete when the Jewish people made the transition from the temporary Mishkan to the permanent Mikdash, to the Beis HaMikdash. We might wonder why it was necessary to add a further level of completion to the 7 days of creation. Didn't the day of Shabbos mark the world's completion? The Yalkut Shimoni throws light on this question. So that's the Yalkut Shimoni, that's Malachi 3:589. So the Yalkut Shimoni throws light on this question. It explains that in the era of the Mashiach, the Mincha offering will be as pleasing and sweet to Hashem as in the time of Noach after the flood, and in the time of Hevel prior to the advent of idolatry. For the generation of the flood had corrupted the world. Their sins had a real effect on the world in a spiritual sense. This meant that a korban was not as pleasing to Hashem in such an era because it came from an impure world. The flood purified the world and gave it a new beginning. When Noah offered a korban after the flood, it was sweet and pure. In the future, the world will again attain purity, and the korbanos will thus be sweet and pure again. The Mishkan had a similar effect. The walls of the Mishkan blocked any influence of impurity. They were a sanctuary and safe haven of purity. So the walls of the Mishkan blocked any influence of impurity. They were a sanctuary and a safe haven of purity. This allowed korbanos to be offered again in full purity. The mikdash had the same feature, but on a permanent basis. On the pasuk describing the conclusion of Shlomo's building of the first mikdash, the Beis HaMikdash Rishon, the first Beis HaMikdash, all the work was complete. Malachim 1:751. So it says, all the work was complete. Chazal note, that's the Chachamim, note that the word all actually alludes to the 7 days of creation, that all the work was complete. The Mikdash completed the creation. Similarly, the use of the word la'asos in the account of creation, Bereshis 2:3, hints at this. When the Torah says Hashem blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, for on it he rested from all the work Hashem had created to perform, la'asos. That Hashem still had work he rested from the work he created to perform, la'asos. In other words, still there was work to do. This means that even after the world's creation, there was work that remained to be done. The building of the Mikdash, in fact, Chazal go on to say that the very name Shlomo connotes completion, referring to the completion of the days of creation. Shalem means complete. So the word Shlomo connotes completion, referring to the completion of the days of creation. Pesikta Rabasi 6. Again, this is because the Mikdash is a place free of any spiritual contamination or corruption, a safe haven of purity, fitting for offering korbanos. Today, we have no Mikdash, no place of safe haven, but we do have our 4 amos of halacha, which the Gemara says is a kind of substitute. In our base medrash, we can find our haven of purity. So today we have no mikdash, but we have the 4 amos of halacha. In other words, when we can learn and learn what to do with the halachos, and do them to the best of our ability with Hashem's help. So we do have our 4 amos of halacha. When the Gemara says is a kind of substitute for the mikdash, in our base midrash, we can find our haven of purity with the arba amos shel halacha. So this is on the deep meaning of the Mishkan, the Parshas Shemini. Vihi Bayom Hashmini. So Vihi, it says Vihi. Bayom Harishon, it says it was on all the days. Vihi. It's a Vihi Erev, Vihi Boker Yom Rishon. Right? It was the evening and it was day, the first day, and it says for all the 7 days. And it says, Vayehi Bayom Hashmini, and it was on the 8th day. It was on the 8th day of the inauguration ceremony, Vayikra 9:1. So this is in other words, the Mishkan completed the creation of the world. Parshas Shmini. This is from the Sefer Rav Zvi Kushalevsky on the Torah. Rav Zvi Kushalevsky on the Torah. Yashikayach, Kol Tov, Chag Kosher B'Sameach.